welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'll be doing part one of hopefully a new series, discussing potential 2024 candidates and their chances, or not say their chances, but a lot of their strengths. First off, y'all, I'm using I think a bit of a new thumbnail or slightly different, so please let me know if you like that. If you want me to go back to the old one, let me know. Also, please comment your questions down for the Q&A. I think I'm probably going to do it with the amount of questions I already have, but I would like an additional question or two. And then let me know what you guys think of the series, but I'm going to start it. I have school tomorrow. I want to do this quickly. These will probably be a lot less structured than a lot of my typical videos, whereas typically, like, for predictions, I do, like, safe, likely, lean, yada yada. For a lot of those candidate comparisons, I typically start out in the West and move east. This will probably be a bit more like me discussing random stuff. Or not say random stuff within like the general framework of my channel. But I mean, sometimes I do discuss like Atlanta sports. But anyways, I think that just with RDS, one problem that he'll have, I think that he's going to do worse with white rural voters than Trump. With this Trumpist strategy electorally within the GOP, a lot of it relies heavily on doing very, very well with white rural voters, which worked well for Trump. I think RDS is actually one of the best GOP candidates for white rural voters, but he still isn't Trump, and that's probably going to hurt him. For the white working class, I think it's a very similar, it's very similar with the white working class to white rural voters. I think that with suburbanites, I think that the suburbs will continue to shift. I think he's a worse suburban candidate than a lot of people seem to think. I do think he's better than Trump, probably, but I think that the suburbs will shift less, probably, like, under RDS, or I say under RDS, against, when RDS is, or if RDS is a GOP nominee. I think that with black voters, I think that he does, like, meh with black voters in, like, Atlanta and Philadelphia and in bigger cities. But with, like, rural black voters in, like, the South and, like, Mississippi and, like, Georgia, I think that he actually does solid. I think he does fairly well. With white rural college educated voters, I think he's actually probably better than Trump with white rural college educated voters. With traditionally conservative suburbanites, I actually think he'd be pretty strong, especially if he's running against somebody who has less appeal, like practically every Democratic nominee other than Joe Biden. I think that like even more moderate candidates like Joe Manchin would probably do worse than Biden with those suburbanites. I think that Biden was abnormally strong. I think that Mark Kelly does worse. Kirsten Sinema, Joe Manchin. I think that 2024 candidates. I think that Harris does worse. In terms of just strong suburban candidates for 2024 for the Democrats. I think that Buttigieg probably does worse. I think Baldwin does worse. I think that Gretchen Whitmer does worse. I think that who are some other strong suburban candidates? I don't want to spend my entire day naming strong suburban candidates, but now I'm trying to think of strong suburban candidates. Yeah, okay. Basically, Biden, Baldwin, Whitmer, and Buttigieg. Those are four who I named, or who I have. I think Biden is easily the best of all of them. I feel like I'm probably blanking. Like Harris is a strong suburban candidate, so that's probably five. But I think that Biden definitely would have done better than all of them. So I think that RDS, generally speaking, does well enough in Arizona. I think with Hispanic and Latino voters in like Texas and Florida, I think he does better. I think in like Arizona, he does like meh. Nevada, meh. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please comment your suggestions down below. I know there were some demographics we didn't get to talking about loads of, but a lot of them probably won't impact the election, even if they do make up a relatively large chunks of, even if they do make up relatively large chunks of, like, their, like, regions, like, we didn't really talk about, a lot of those Obama to Trump voters in Iowa. We didn't really talk about, diversifying suburbs, that are, or suburbanites, or suburbs that are diversifying more with more and more minority voters. We haven't really talked about a lot of those demographics. I don't think that most of them, especially with RDS, I think with somebody like within the GOP, Mitt Romney would be affected by both of those. I think within the Democratic Party, Kamala Harris would probably be affected by those. I think that Tammy Baldwin would probably be affected by those. But I think that especially RDS, I think that maybe he does slightly better in white liberal cities. I think that with I think in suburbs that are getting more racially diverse, I think he does probably worse in the suburbs, but those probably aren't going to drastically affect his chances, at least as opposed to like other demographics that will affect him more. Like in Georgia, I could realistically see him there. I could realistically see the suburbs being too diverse for him racially to do, or to the point where it causes him to lose the state. But I think a lot of that would also likely be due to him struggling with white rural voters. But yeah, once again, like the video. If you enjoyed it, please comment your suggestions down below. Stay tuned for my next video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I feel like I might have already said that. But please comment some questions down below for the Q&A. And I hope to see y'all in my next video. Bye.